Hello, you beautiful people. Good morning. Another beautiful day. Yeah. Sitting here chilling, sitting here working as usual. Listen to this. I'm gonna read you this article. Listen to this. PS5 and Xbox Series X early years might be defined by annualized games. You know, before I start reading this, you know, last night my mind was in rotation, and I was thinking about the game industry, you know, and I realized one thing that was going to happen, that there are going to be less games. You know, there are going to be less games this console generation. One reason being is because of the COVID and the work environment and the workspace that people are in. And number two is the games are going to be bigger. And remember, I told you that Arkham Knight is big, but Gotham Knights got something to say about that, right? And not only that, you know, Cyberpunk. What happened with Cyberpunk was a warning was a prelude of things to come. So when Cyberpunk was going through when CD Projekt Red was going through the issues with Cyberpunk, right? You know, like I told you guys before, that all the developers in the game industry, they were paying attention to that. So now fast forward to the Xbox Series X and PS5. These games are going to be big, which means there's going to be it's going to be a lot more work. You know, so you're not going to have a lot of games like you think, like you used to. But the games that you're getting for the Xbox Series X and PS5, they're going to be big, open world, detailed, and all that. And this is where also backwards compatibility comes in too. You know, because backwards compatibility fills that void when a next gen console is not getting a lot of games. You got that huge backlog of games that you probably never finished, or you probably played like halfway through, but you never got the chance to, like, you know, see the games all the way through. Which brings me to Nintendo with the Wii U, and why the Wii U is still relevant. They should have kept using it, but I'm not even gonna go down that road. This console generation, you know, we're not gonna have a lot of games. We're gonna have some games. Don't get me wrong, but the games that are coming, they're going to be huge, especially big AAA games, because big AAA games take a lot of work and a lot of time. That's why you see companies like Rocksteady with the Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. That's a huge title. That's why you see WB Games with Gotham Knights. That's a big title. That's you see the same thing with Namco. I mean, not Namco, but what's that company's name? Who was that? The company that made Red Dead Redemption. You know, they're working on Red Dead Redemption 3. You know, the concepts and the ideas are coming up for it. So when it comes to today's games, we're not going to have a lot of games like we used to. But but if your console is backwards compatible, that is going to be used to fill the void. You know, to fill the void of not getting a lot of new games. You know, so these developers, man, they're busy, right? And these developers, they're busy, and the games that they're working on, they're big. The games that they're working on, they're big and they're huge, and they're trying to ascend above the previous games. Oh, Rocksteady, not Rocksteady, but Rockstar Gaming. Finally got it. Came to my head. But the games on the Xbox Series X, PS5, man, you're gonna see less. You know, you're not gonna see a whole lot of games like you used to, like you saw on the Xbox One, PS4. you're gonna see a decrease in games when it comes to the Xbox Series X, PS5, because of how big the games are getting now, you know, and it's gonna require like more hands to work on a title. And like I told you guys before, CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk was a warning of things to come. But anyway, saw this article today on a Gamer's Rant. See if I can pull it up here. It says here, PS5 and Xbox Series X early years might be defined by annualized games. It says PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X have been successful so far, but annualized franchise could define the early part of this console cycle. Oh yeah, not only that, there's a shortage in CPU chips too. That's another issue. But anyway, it says here, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X reportedly have enjoyed big success since this console launches in November 2020. The new generation of consoles has already earned a big following thanks to their increase in power and enhancement over the last cycle of consoles. While both consoles were launched 5 months ago, there hasn't been a steady stream of games exclusive for the new generation yet. A host of titles have received PS5 and Xbox Series X upgrade, and this could be indicative of how the early portions of the new console generation will be defined. Both new consoles have several big new upcoming titles. PlayStation 5 has some exclusive line up, and Xbox Series X first-party titles should be bolstered with projects from Obsidian Entertainment and Bethesda. There are some promising games lined up, but they might not see release in the early part of this console generation. With delays looming for significant numbers of developers and other factors, the early portion of new console cycles could be defined by tried and true franchises. Then it says here, there are many highly anticipated games in development right now, but for some of them, there is little known about when they will release. God of War sequel is touted for a 2021 launch, but many gamers feel as though it will ultimately be delayed into 2022. Obsidian Entertainment is currently working on Avowed for Microsoft platform, but there is no release date attached to the game yet. In the absence of plentiful of anticipated titles, like annualized games could take the spotlight. Despite widespread game delays due to COVID-19, like I told you guys, annualized franchise like Call of Duty, Madden, NFL, and NBA 2K doesn't seem to have been quite as significant as other titles, with others non-annualized games seemingly being hampered by a global pandemic more so. Annual franchise could be highlighted more to fit that void. That is the chance that annualized games could be increased. Their market share could be the gap left by other anticipated release. Says some annual franchise like Call of Duty delves into cross-generated launches. In the past, this meant that there would be two distinct versions of a game release, one for the past generation and one for the new generation. With the transition to the ninth console generation, wait a minute, ninth console generation, there are more, stop skipping. There are more paths than ever available for upgrading games, both for the previous generation. It's common practice for developers to now release free or paid upgrades for certain titles to bring them up to a certain standard for a new game. This could mean This could mean, for example, for a gamer could buy Call of Duty on PlayStation 4 and later upgrade it to PlayStation 5. If there are few new generations only games, a player might be more inclined to upgrade titles they already own. Cross-gen bundles from the likes of EA and 2K has been used in recent months. And with the potential absence of other AAA games, new generation games, there is a practice that could. This is a practice that could continue. So it says here, like FIFA and COD are immensely popular franchise and also annual features on the gaming calendar for years. These games have proven to be sustainably popular throughout several console generations. These are always seems to transition well to the next generation without losing any significant following. Under the usual circumstance, these titles will likely be popular anyway, but with the uncertainty surrounding other major games, popular annual games could be in spotlight more so than in years. Then it says here, while likely of the new God of War or Hogwarts Legacy and Halo Infinite has experienced delays, the turnaround on popular annual games seems to be less affected by comparison. Annualized games could see a large market share in earlier stages of the new console generation due to other titles being delayed. While games like these have been popular for years, there could be a larger market share at the stake for a while. The global pandemic is ongoing and affecting major game releases, meaning that this could be a time to shine for annualized franchise. And that's the end of the article. which brings me to the Wii U again. You see why I defended the Wii U so much? Remember all those videos I made about the Wii U? What did I told you? The Wii U is the standard. What the Wii U is the standard. The Wii U had all angles of gaming covered. Whatever direction Nintendo was trying to go in, Wii U had that covered. The Wii U was designed to pull everybody out the dark hole that they find themselves in with the Switch. Oh boy. Oh boy. Anyway, look. What this is talking about. What this is talking about is what I mentioned earlier. You know, you're gonna see a decrease in games, and backwards compatibility is important. This is why Microsoft jumped on that backwards compatibility when Sony and Nintendo took it for granted. They're in the driver's seat. They won't be affected, but Nintendo and Sony gonna be scraping for games when they should have kept using their PS3s and their Wii U's. I mean, keep up the. They should have kept using it. Keep using it. Refresh the Wii U. Keep using it. With the PlayStation 3, take the backwards compatibility and moved it into PlayStation 4. That way you can fill that void. So when you got a big AAA game to work on, you ain't got much to that. When you got a big AAA game to work on, that backwards compatibility fills that void because you got plenty of titles to play that you have never finished. So now the developers, they can work on the games that they got. Microsoft did, like I said before, Microsoft did their homework, and this is why Activision made Warzone for Call of Duty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Warzone was supposed to fill that gap, fill that void, and then give them time to work on their other Call of Duty titles. Okay, that's what Warzone was for. And the same thing could be said for Star Wars. You know, with the Battlefront series. You know, those games were made to fill a void, so EA can work on other Star Wars titles. You know, you're just gonna see you're gonna see a shortage in games for the Xbox Series X and PS5 because the games are bigger now, which it's gonna take up more time, which means you need more hands to get the games completed. You know, look what happened to Anthem. Anthem is a good game. But like I was telling people, Anthem needed like about 100 people to work on that game. Okay, you know, 10 people do this, 10 people do that, 10 people do this, 10 people do that, and get the game up to code, because the game is still alive. Basically, you know, it just needs a serious update, like a 80 gig of like updates to like really feel that, to keep it up to today's standards, man. And that's what you know, CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk was a warning of things to come. That's all it was. It was just a warning. And if you were paying attention, and then the games that you were playing on the PS4 or Xbox One, you knew that based on the size of those games, that on the Xbox Series X, PS5, they were going to be bigger, and that means that there will be a decrease like in games, but the games that you're getting, they're going to be big, they're going to be open world and the whole nine, detailed and all that. So yeah, you're going to see a shortage in games, man. And what I've been saying about the Wii U, has come to the light. You see, this is why the Wii U was so important, and this is why Nintendo, I kept telling everybody, Nintendo should have never built the Switch. But this article, oh yeah, it made my day. Anyway, I'm gonna leave a link in the description box with this article. And nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing for Dark Side. I'm gone. Peace.